Hello, my name is Shirley Self, and I'm here to talk astrology. Today I wanted to talk about an interesting woman that has come upon the national scene. Her name is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She was born in October, 13th of October of 1989. She, to me, because I've born in 1940, she just looks like a baby. But this young woman is a powerhouse. And so I thought I would bring her to your attention and give me an opportunity to talk about one of my favorite moon phases, the one just behind me, the moon phase 13. That is Alexandria's moon phase. It's right here, 13. Notice that it's got a star on it. That means that this is not a moon phase you can skip by working double time of the previous moon phase. Mine is one of those that you could skip if you do really good in this number 13 moon phase. The notice of 13 follows the moon phase 12, the initiation phase of 12, where the solar mind, the left hemisphere, dives into the subconscious, turns inward, that's what I want to say, turns inward and joins the right hemisphere, the lunar mind, the receptive mind, the mind that talks to God and does the creative imagination. There it is. The minds join there. It's a corpus callosum issue here. The minds come together, and when the logical mind goes down into the personal reality, you might say, what it discovers is treasure. What it discovers is power. Power. It's the power of Leo, and it discriminates this Leo. It makes this Leo unique. It shows this Leo personality, what a unique person it has the potential of being. And that's a valuable lesson. So what the logical mind has done is accessed the creative imagination, accessed the subconscious. Virtually, that's what the symbol Mercury means. Anyway, is the sun. You got the sun here, and the moon in the Kabbalah is down here, supporting the sun. And what the sun's job is through the second quarter here is to bring that moon up here, to bring that subconscious content, information, new ideas. Oh my God, it's the source. It's cauldron of Caradwin. It's the source of your creativity, of change in the world, of genius, new ideas. That's where Einstein went to get his. So it's important then that phase 13 has got to experience the physical life, because it's the phase. That's the phase that starts bringing that stuff forward, bringing the power that has been discovered in the depths, bringing that power into reality. It's called purgatory. And the reason it's called purgatory is because it involves a purge of outside influence on you. Understand that this whole quarter here pretty much follows outside influence. It's very, very connected in to whatever the group mission is, whatever. But this is to become unique, to be creative out of yourself. To become individual. And you create this individual virtually. This is, remember, the death of the pig here. so that then to abandon all those pig habits that you've virtually successfully killed off the need for them. Moon phase 12 is the hero. Why? Because he has to fight all his life. It's the killing the pig is a lifelong. I mean, you. That's what the Elysian fields were about, where you were initiated through the rituals of Demeter, and that included the killing of the pig. And you use that pig, the remnants of that pig, to fertilize the fields, to promote creativity. So anyway, that's the 13's job, is to bring this information forth, to bring this ability forth, start raising this up here. And in order to do that successfully, you have to become emotionally secure in yourself. You have to and understand that this whole quarter here is dealing with the emotions. This is what these people do, because the emotions are the key to human creativity. The emotions read, experience images, whatever in the world, and brings them to meaning, finds the meaning in them. And so the emotions are the moon, reflect God, so that's how we communicate with God, or the higher beings, or our higher self, however you want to put that. Stilling the conscious mind, the logical mind, telling it to quieten down, shut up, pay attention, and learn, because this is learning to understand images, to make the connection between the two brains. The solar mind has to learn to read the language of the lunar mind, which is symbols. Okay, so here we have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Her creative genius is up here at moon phase 17, which is the moon phase of Bernie Sanders. What a coincidence. The body of fate is over here at moon phase 3, where she established the ambition. This is all about paying attention to your instincts, your body's desire, the desire of this new will, new energy that has come in, and a moon phase 3 has developed a desire to change the world in some way, to make an impact on the world in some way, and so that desire is the body of fate of moon phase 13. She has that desire to make an imprint upon the world. Her mask, that those energies that you need to incorporate into your behavior in order to be successful, and they're your energies. You just need to use them along with your ascendant. So that's over here at moon phase 27, which simplifies one's life. It's called the saint. That's where the self-sacrificing part of this rectangle exists, and the saint just does for the world. The saint, Yeats kind of referred to it, the saint is the world's gardener. And so that is to be incorporated into the motivations of moon phase 13. Let's see, what else do I need to tell you about that? Okay, let's look at that. Where it is, it's over there in Virgo. And so there's a tremendous amount of self-judgment and self-adjustment and change that must happen as the soul moves through purgatory here. And so self-judgment is an issue with moon phase 13 and can do damage to it, and bring even to self-loathing. If the moon phase 13 can't convince itself to act. One of the things that 13 has to do is be very picky about what it brings to itself. Food, shelter, lovers, jobs. And they're very fussy. It has to be a perfect fit. And so that makes them picky people. Have to, in order to find a mate, they often end up with people up here, like Prince Charles ended up with Diana. This is totally inappropriate. Too much emotion in that, and it drowns the moon phase 13. It needs to find somebody over here at 3 or up here around 27. These people over here can put up with the restrictions that a moon phase 13 puts on his life. Understands he needs to be focused. So let's look at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. There's that girl. Her information was she's born the 13th of October in 1989 at 11:50 a.m. In the Bronx, New York. And so this, you could say this is an approximate. It could probably move a couple of degrees one way or another, but it's not necessary for our purposes. So let's look at Alexandria Cortez. Follow the red line, and you will notice that our AOC, as they call her, has a grand square, and that is in cardinal signs. A grand square in cardinal signs, I kind of regard it as a sort of a crucifixion. I mean, you can't get away from this. There is no retreat from virtually your obligations. Cardinal Grand Cross is a juggernaut, and she doesn't have much fire. She only has one planet in fire. That's this Venus here. But this juggernaut is set into motion in response. This is mutable here, Sagittarius ascendant, in response to something outside. And that response to something outside, that 15 degrees across her ascendant and her descendant, or you could say, and put it in Yangian, in Yeatsian terms, this is the ascendant and this is the descendant, the will and the mask. The will and the mask. And that is the ascendant and descendant line of the United States. This is at in the 16th degree in the United States. Ascendant and descendant is in the 13th degree. So there she is. She is right on us. She is in action in response to what's going on in this country. So that action is, she doesn't, this Venus, thank God, is very important to her, and very important to this chart. Notice that, okay, let's find the ruler of the chart is obviously ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter ruled Sagittarius. Well, the Jupiter is over there in Cancer, and so it's ruled by the moon. And the moon down here is in Aries, and so it's ruled by Mars. It's ruled by Mars. Mars is up here in Libra, which is ruled by this Venus. So this subtle Venus hiding out in the 12th house rules the whole chart. And you might say that this woman is motivated by a spiritual love, which is pretty much true of moon phase 13s, when they have figured out who they are and where they need to go, how they need to do it. Understand, there is no how you need to do it. You have to play it. They definitely have to play it by ear. And that means that they can't become rigid. Notice that she's got this powerhouse in Capricorn, Saturn there, and gives some stability to her Capricorn, to her ambition, because she's also got Uranus there and Neptune there. The Neptune spiritualizes this ambitious first house. The Neptune gives it a mission, almost. And it is it's 1 degree off of this Saturn. The Uranus over there wants to change things, needs to change things, needs to change the baseline. Saturn, Capricorn, needs to change the basic structure. And so that's one part of this, and that's called a stellium, because it's all kind of conjunct there in three or more planets in one house. Plus, she's got Vesta there. You'll notice around here that the female, the mother asteroids, she's got them conjunct planets. She's got all 4 of them. She's got Vesta. She's got Juno, Ceres, and Pallas Athena. This woman is a warrior for women's rights. A warrior for women. This is a woman warrior. Actually, she's a leader, South Node in Leo here, up here in the 8th house of transformation. The South Node at 24 Leo. Okay, and you can see that Leo in her if you've seen pictures of her. And she's always the center of a crowd. That's a good Leo. And what the North Node is, it's down here in, she needs to value her ability to be objective. To be objective and to embrace change. Because as much as she wants to promote change, the problem with the grand square is it can get stuck in a habit and not move very well. Not be able to respond. And I'm not sure that this is a problem with this woman, because anything that is in Cancer is very changeable, because the moon is very changeable. And Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer. And Jupiter in Cancer is exalted. Jupiter in Cancer is one who very much cares for other people, very much wants to feed you. Are you comfortable? Very much wants to promote your welfare. And this Jupiter is sandwiched there between Chiron and Ceres. Ceres, Demeter, the great mother, the one who feeds us, cereal. She's a source of the word cereal. And over there is Chiron. Chiron, the wounded healer. And so her wound, and the wounded healer is the door to your adventure. The door to your transformative adventure, the adventure of the hero. So her wounded healer over there by Jupiter has to do with nourishment, and what you nourish yourself, how you nourish yourself, and who is nourished and who is not. And so this woman is, and because it's Cancer, this woman is very much nourishing female power. But she's also wants to nourish immigrants. In the United States, we're having an immigration issue, and she cares very much about immigrants. Jupiter rules immigrants. Jupiter and people who are different from us. Okay, so let's see. Okay, that Chiron conjunct Jupiter refers to a basic disillusionment, and that basic disillusionment, of course, is in the United States. That Jupiter is conjunct the U.S. Sun. She's very much a patriot. Let's see, what else has she got? Oh, the her Venus, which rules this chart, is trine the U.S. North Node. I didn't write it down here, but a moon phase 13 will have its creative genius down in here somewhere, meaning its body of fate is up in here somewhere. And that creative genius is the inspiration that motivates them. It has to do with their values. And so her values, let's see, what have I got? Oh yeah, she's got Venus trine the U.S. values. Her nodes are reversed from the United States nodes, which is quite fortunate. It gives one more objectivity. Excuse me while I have a sip of water. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. It's the nodes are reversed, but her creative genius, and I didn't write that down there for you to see. Her creative genius is at 7 in the 8th degree of Aquarius. That is the U.S. Chart, the South Node of the United States Sibley chart. And so her body of fate is up there in her 8th house, and that would be at 8 Leo, which is the North Node of the United States. So there's something karmic about her job right now. It's something she needs to do, and she needs to be very careful and very selective about what she is choosing to do right now, choosing to bring to her. That's the issue. And to not be swayed by other people's emotional applause. That's a problem with the South Node in Leo. It loves to be at the center, but it loses its objectivity. And so, what do we have here? Oh, I was going to show you. This is the card for a moon phase 3. The Empress. She is the path of Chiron. On the Kabbalah, she is the path between Saturn, what you've got, and Aquarius, what you need to become, the changes that need to happen. And that is the Chiron path. And her Chiron is over there by that very important Jupiter. So, that Chiron is her disillusionment. Her Chiron is square to Saturn. And so that square to Saturn is a marker for someone who does get stuck into habits, which is a problem with Capricorn. I'm encouraged by the fact that Neptune tends not to be stuck, and Uranus breaks away in order to keep from being stuck. Okay, so that's that square. She needs to. She can't expect that the same solution can solve all problems. She needs to develop a repertoire. She needs to be flexible. She's very inspired, very psychic about this woman with her Venus in fire in the 12th house, ruling this powerhouse, this juggernaut. So we've got the square to She's conjunct Jupiter, square Mars, and trine Pluto. And that means that her convictions are very powerful. She has to remain true to herself. That's an important thing about moon phase 12, 13, and 14, and 15. It's the issue for 15, is to maintain one's integrity during the war, to bring oneself into perfection. Into perfection, not only perfect being, but perfect action in the world. Most difficult. The Chiron is also got a 165 degrees to Uranus. And that is, I think it's, sometimes people are starting to call it the Queen de Chile, which, for crying out loud, but I haven't come up with anything better. It is a powerhouse in that once it latches onto a project, it does not give in to others' control. Now, this is very important for a 13 who can submit emotionally to others, who can just the emotional atmosphere can be very toxic. And that's why moon phase 13 means time alone. That's why that Venus is so very important, because it's that Venus that will help her keep spiritually together during the fight that she has on her hands. It's a war. It's a war. And fortunately, she has Pallas Athena conjunct her moon. So she is a warrior. She is, that Pallas Athena is the warrior goddess. Okay. And that moon is opposing her Mercury. She's got a stellium up here in Libra. She is a Libra. And Juno's right in the middle of it, relationship, the issues of proper relationship. And she's worried probably too, but concerned about proper relationship of, notice it's up there on the midheaven, the 10th house. Proper relationship of business, government, to is the people. And so she's a warrior for us, for inclusion. That's the thing about that Neptune there. Neptune rules democracy. Neptune is a leveler. We are all alike. It rules democracy. And she is a very democratic pioneer. She's got Vesta, and Vesta is it has to do with ritual. It has to do with ritual sex. It has to do with sacrificing oneself for the benefit of others. This one does too. It's Venus in Pisces. Venus in Pisces. It's not. Hers is a Venus in the 12th, but it is like a Venus in Pisces. And Venus in Pisces is very giving of itself to others. Venus in Pisces can be kind of round-heeled. So she's got this stellium up here in Libra, ruled by the Venus. Mars is there, ruled by the Venus. Mars on the midheaven. So Mars leads her sun. It's called the Oriental planet. You look at your own chart, and the planet that is in degrees ahead of your sun, just right in front of your sun, or as it comes up over the horizon before the sun, just before the sun. It has to do with your motivation, ambition, what you're after, how you're going to do it. That Mars is very, very aggressive. But it's very aggressive in a very kind way. It's Libra. It's kind as it can be. It's also very warlike. People think Libra is peace. And it actually wants peace very bad. But it will go to war for it. And that's a good thing, because she's got an Aries moon. Kind of in opposition, started to be in opposition to that Libra sun, an Aries moon, and it's in the Taurus Dwad. That means that 3 degrees of Aries is the Dwad Asana of in Taurus. Each a sign, 30 degrees long, has all 12 signs in it, subcategories. It also has broken down into decanates, and they are, if it's a fire sign, we're talking about Aries, the decanates will be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. But this is a Dwad, and the Dwads are the sub divisions in the zodiac. It is in the second Dwad, and that would be Taurus. And so this woman wants to change our values. I think she wants us to value the opportunity we have here in this country to not only lead the world, but to get us out of the hole we have dug in our conquering of nature. So her values are, she values truth and beauty. That's a issue with moon phase 17, and that is the creative genius of moon phase 13. She's incredibly talented. She's got 2 of these biquintiles. She's got a biquintile between Venus and Jupiter. Now the Venus and Jupiter. Biquintiles are 2 quintiles. So it's 144 degrees. A quintile is 72 degrees. And it is division by 1/5. And they are personally creative, talented. The biquintiles differ from the quintiles in that they're kind of automatic. You probably don't notice them. They just happen. The quintiles you have to use, kind of like a sextile. You have to want to deliberately, you notice it's there, you want to deliberately use it. Okay, she's got biquintile. She also has a biquintile. I thought she had 2, but I only see the 1. Okay, well, she does have quintiles. The Mercury, from her Mercury to the ascendant, is a quintile. A talent for how to present what she wants to say. A talent for presenting ideas. She's got a quintile between Venus and, the Sun and Uranus. The Sun and Uranus is a quintile. And that is a talent for taking something that is kind of ugly and turning it into something that's beautiful. It's changing things toward a more beautiful and balanced and fair reality. Okay, and she's got a septile. Septiles are 52 degrees. The septile is it's important. It must be important. That's the angle on the Great Pyramid. It's 52 degrees. So we've got a Venus-Mars septile. A Venus-Mars septile. That is very handy. A septile has 1/7 of the circle, and it 72 degrees, and it has to do with throwing your creativity into a coming wave of change, either positively or negatively. They can be used both ways. And she has also a septile between Mars and her south node. So notice that they come up like this across her midheaven. I think she could be a game changer, a real game changer. I know I first I heard her initials, AOC, from a staunch Republican friend of mine, one who did not vote for Trump, but who said, "Have you heard of I suppose you're a fan of AOC?" And I thought, CIA, FDA, what is AOC? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I think we'll hear from her more. I was going to say about the Vesta here. The Vesta conjunct Neptune has to do with devotion, commitment to spiritual ideas. Let's see, what else has she got? She's got a square between the Mercury and the Uranus. A square between the Uranus and the Moon. The Jupiter is a little out of sync. I don't like to see them that far out, but it's incredibly important. Its importance as the ruler of this chart, I allow it the extra. So it's at 10 degrees, whereas the moon is at 3. But the moon casts a huge light. The moon and the sun throw 10 degrees, they are considered conjunct, and 10 degrees on either side. So that's 20 degrees. There are the lights. So let's see what else I wanted to tell. She's gonna, I think, kind of be married to her career. She's got Juno up there, conjunct Mars. She is a woman driven by a mission. And she is devoted to spiritual ideas. She is committed to these spiritualized values. I think what she's trying to tell the people that what we have here is sacred. Don't waste it. Our Constitution is sacred. Don't waste it. Our opportunity here in this nation is sacred. And I think a lot of it is because she recognizes the handiness of having strangers come amongst us and stimulate us and keep us from becoming staid and stuck and territorial and prejudiced. So let's see what else I had to say about this lovely woman. She had the 2. Oh, the other 165 is here between the moon and the sun. Those are the lights. This is a determined woman, a determined, tenacious, committed woman, and I appreciate her. And I pray that she does well and that stays true to her mission. And I hope that you are all well, and I wish you the best, and may the goddess and the God bless you. Amen.